Welcome to the Jami Dulaney Plant-Based Wellness Podcast. We have a special edition today with my co-host,
Caleb James Meinrich.
And Addie and
Sissy.
We are getting ready for Thanksgiving, and this is our pre-Thanksgiving podcast. And Caleb, what do you like best on Thanksgiving Day to eat?
Dessert.
And what kind of dessert would that be?
Pumpkin pie.
All right. My favorite is lima beans and stuffing balls. What about you, Addie?
yeah, you get to eat it this year. I think mine is also lima beans and stuffing balls.
I think so. And I'm pretty sure that Cece's is going to be stuffing balls.
Yes, because anything having to do with bread is Cece's jam.
So one of our Thanksgiving traditions is to go around the room and say, what are you thankful for? So Caleb, do you want to start first?
Yeah. So what I'm thankful for is Hossy, Benny, and Buckwheat.
And who are they?
They're my pets.
Yeah. And what else might you be thankful for?
I know. Cece.
Yeah.
Aww.
I am so thankful that you are here with me this year. And I don't have to get on an airplane and go see you because we're right here together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Cece's
Second
Thanksgiving. Yeah. This one you get to eat.
Hoorah. Are you excited to eat? Yummy?
No.
Yum. Hey, Cece, can you say thankful for Bubba?
Baba.
Oh, that's right. You guys are
Very
buddies.
nice.
I know where to find.
Yeah.
Well, but before we have Thanksgiving dinner, I understand that you're going to be in a turkey trot. And you have, what kind of special outfit are you going to wear?
A turkey costume, and Cece has a turkey costume too.
Very good. And what's Mama going to push?
The stroller.
Yes.
Yeah, for Caleb's second Thanksgiving, I pushed him in a stroller for a turkey trot, so we thought might as well keep with tradition, and we'll be pushing the double.
So a double Bob, shout out to the company Bob, makes great running strollers.
Yes, I have to say, I've had a single for 5 years, and the double, and they are the best one out there. They're great to travel with, they go off-roading. I mean, anybody who asks me what they should get, that's what they should get.
So you'll be pushing, we figured, at 111 pounds?
Yes, we added up all the weight with recent growth spurts. 111 pounds.
Yes, indeed. So we're all here together, and we all chip in to make Thanksgiving dinner, right? I guess you'll help to make the pumpkin pie, Caleb? Yes, you'll help to lick the spoon, I would guess, is what you'll help to do.
Absolutely,
All the
absolutely.
parts.
But today I went grocery store shopping, and you did as well. And it's very easy when you're shopping for a plant-based Thanksgiving
Yeah.
because, you know, a lot of the stuff we already had. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, lima beans you can buy early. We have pumpkin,
Cranberries, bought early.
cranberries. So we're really ready. And the beauty of it is it doesn't take a whole lot of prep.
No, and none of it takes long to cook either. And a lot of it actually, like we went over in our cooking class that I did with our practice last week, we kind of talked about the staging of it all and how certain dishes you can actually make the day ahead if you'd want, or the ones you can make earlier in the day, or the ones you want to wait to the last minute to make. But none of it is too complex, and none of it's out of the ordinary from what we normally have day to day, you know, in terms of ingredient wise.
Right, and so you can go do a turkey trot and have a nice day, watch the parade as part of
Absolutely.
our tradition, and then, you know, have a good day, an easy day, really, and not have to worry about
Burning a bird,
giving a bird a bath, getting the bird on a platter, and cleanup. That's the other thing,
Yes, the
because
cleanup is so
if you've
nice.
ever made a turkey, it is so messy.
Messy, and the leftovers last longer. You don't have to worry about food safety as wise.
That's true. That's true. So easy cleanup, easy prep, easy shopping. Again, today I was at the grocery store and people are wandering around in a panic because people don't usually make turkeys, only on Thanksgiving. And so it's so much stress and to make sure it turns out right. And all this stuff just turns out right without a problem. So.
And a lot of the food we actually even have in our cookbook, especially Nunny's stuffing balls, which is what we all said was our favorite. And that we've made every year, even before we were Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I always like this holiday for many reasons, but I was talking about, again, in class last week, that Thanksgiving was the first big holiday that we had after switching to eating plant-based. And I always enjoy it because it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But it was a holiday that taught us that truly what you are looking for are the flavors and bringing about traditions through similar foods, but that really when you cut certain things out, it's not going to ruin the day.
No. And on our platter, we usually make a loaf.
Like a roast.
A roast with a combination of tofu and seitan. And so that's, so we have something theoretically in the center. Sometimes we have a vegetable tray that looks like a turkey. So, we have a turkey, don't we? Yes.
We have one right on your lap.
Yes, I have a turkey sitting. Her name is Cece.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
Again? Again?
Can you say happy Thanksgiving? Can you say happy Thanksgiving?
Yes, so it will be very, very good. And, the best thing about Caleb and Cece is that they've been plant-based their whole life, and so they really, really like this food. It's not, so they love vegetables, and it's not a fight to get, things that are new for them to eat because they're just used to it.
Right. You love the stuffing balls. I made them last week. Trial run.
Yeah.
And Cece would live on sweet potatoes if she could.
So, Caleb, you have a tradition called a thankful turkey. Tell me about that.
So every day we write on a feather what we're thankful for, and what I was thankful for in the past few days. I was thankful for getting to do homeschool, and I'm thankful for basketball.
Who's your coach?
Mama. I'm thankful for Mama and Cece.
Yeah.
I'm going to Daddy's football games, right?
Yeah, going to Daddy's football games. And why we do that? Because we want to show gratitude, because Thanksgiving is a very, very important season. And that's when we celebrate when the Native Americans and pilgrims came together.
Very nice.
Yeah, and Cece, you might want to mess with her. She's a turkey.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
What's a turkey? Is that what a turkey says?
Yeah, and I also have a stuffed animal thankful turkey and the paper one that I just talked about. I have 2 thankful turkeys.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, our gracious gobbler, right? Because all the time throughout the year, we really focus on what we're grateful for, right? And having an attitude of gratitude, right?
Gratitude.
Right, but especially around Thanksgiving. It's a fun little way to center us in.
Mm-hmm. Like almost all the time.
Yeah.
Around the year.
I give a weekly nutrition class lecture. Actually, Addie and I alternate. She does a cooking demonstration. Like she said, she did the stuffing balls, and then I'd give a lecture, and it's every other week, and we put it up on our members-only website. And today, we were talking about being thankful and Thanksgiving, and traditional Thanksgivings, and when you go to somebody's house, how do you handle it when you're plant-based? And one of the things that everybody wants, and everybody is usually thankful for, is their health. And it's such a broad generalization. We all want to be healthy. We're thankful for our health. But what does it really mean? And what can we do on a day-to-day basis to maintain that health. And, I always describe the beginning of it really at the end of Halloween season with candy, and then into Thanksgiving with eating and parties, and for Christmas, and then Christmas. People gain a lot of weight, but they're also exposed to a tremendous amount of salt. And it's one of the times of the year where people want to be with their family and want to be healthy, yet the food is so salty and so high in fat that oftentimes people become very ill and sick. And quite frankly, a lot of heart attacks happen this time of the year, and it's very sad because it doesn't have to happen, and it's really difficult when somebody is very ill during the holidays, and we don't wish that on anybody, obviously. And so when we do a plant-based Thanksgiving, or when you share some of your plant-based dishes with your friends, think of it more as that you're sharing a little bit of health this year. You don't have to throw it down their face that you're plant-based or you eat healthier than they do, but just having a dish, that's like a traditional dish. We do the lima beans, but we thicken them with a little bit of soy milk and cornstarch and, a little bit of miso, or our cranberries, cranberries are plant-based for the most part. Just making things a little bit more healthy. We don't use sugar. I guess we use maple syrup is the big difference there, but we have oranges in them and celery and a few pecans in there. So we're making things a little bit more healthy, much less salty, much less fatty, and still celebrating and still being thankful. But again, we're sharing health with other people, and I think that's so important. We had a wellness challenge this month to get Couch to 5K for anybody that wanted to run a turkey trot. And we have some people in the practice that are also, besides Eddie, doing a turkey trot. I'm going to be on the sidelines handing out water bottles or whatever it needs to be in support, because Michael and I were at Cold Creek last weekend doing our 50K. So it was really the quickest turnaround that I've done for this long of distance. We did 33 miles at Cold Creek in Alabama, and then turned it around. I guess it was the week 3. We're back at Colt Creek State Park in Florida to do, it turned out to be 28 miles, so 2 loops of 14.4 miles on the same course that the long haul 100 will be. So we did that on Saturday, and, I'm feeling good. Little walk today, and I'll start to ramp up, because next weekend we're actually doing a 50-mile road race, the Daytona 50-miler. So doing a nice, easy recovery. And this is, again, I've done marathons month to month, but for me, this is a lot of racing in a short period of time. But we're bumping up gradually and pushing the envelope a little bit, but things are going well. Good news is we didn't finish dead last this time. We had no police escort coming in, so that was all good. I got to see some people that we hadn't seen for a while. Colt Creek it's near Zephyr Hills, if you've ever had Zephyr Hill water. Florida, flat course, nicely mowed. We shared the course with some horseback riders, so that was cool to see. I don't know what flower it is, but there was a lot of wild purple flowers and yellow flowers blooming in Florida. So people talk about Colorado, the wildflowers. It was pretty cool to see the wildflowers in Florida blooming this time of year. I don't think I've ever been up there in November, so that was very cool. The weather was warmish, but not horrible. I think it started out in the 60s, got to the low 80s, so not bad. I did have an issue with, I guess, a nutrition. So people say that, do as I say, not as I do, perhaps. But as a nutrition doctor, I had a problem with nutrition during this race. Typically, we have Thai food the day before a race, and I actually had pho, and I thought about it. If you haven't had pho, it's basically, vegetable. We get vegetable broth, and there's there is miso in it, and lightly cooked vegetables, broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage and tofu. Really, really good. And I ate all of it, and I also had all of the broth thinking that I was hydrating. In retrospect, I probably got a little bit more salt than I should have before a race. because I didn't have time to really process it. So we ate at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, and the race was the next morning. So, when you have an extra salt load, sometimes it, goes, we call it third spacing. It's not in your vasculature, but kind of goes out into your system, and you kind of have to process it. So when I started the race, I also started with an electrolyte drink. And so I started that electrolyte drink up front on top of probably having too much salt in my system already. And I actually had kind of got a bloated type feeling, like I sucked a bunch of water into my stomach for the most part, and I was kind of nauseated. And then had some cramping, so some electrolyte issues from that point. And really, when we finished the first loop, I was walking, my legs were cramped, my foot was cramping, I didn't feel good. We started out doing really good and just, kind of slid to a walk the last mile, maybe not quite mile. And I saw the race director, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. It's like not doing so hot. And so we went to the car, and because you park, it was a 2-loop course, so we went to the car to get more water and replenish our nutrition supply. And I had a Coke and sat there on the tailgate and then actually had some more electrolytes, and wasn't sure that I was going to get started. I really wasn't moving very good, but was able to get started. And I did a run walk the whole race, 4 minutes of running and 1 minute of walk. And as we started out, I was able to jog, so it became a 4-minute slow jog and a 1 minute slower walk and a 4-minute jog and a 1 minute walk. And when we get to the aid station, I kept trying to get nutrition and thinking that I needed some calories. And we were mile 15 to 20, so to speak, along that time. And you usually need some calories when you're doing these longer races, but I just couldn't swallow anything. I tried to have a little bit of a peanut butter and jelly square, and it just wasn't going anywhere. Everything was just kind of sitting in my belly. And so finally, I came to the conclusion that I'm going to have, a Dixie cup full of Coke at the aid stations that were about every 5 miles. And other than that, I was just going to take water and the electrolytes. And I really couldn't even take the water. I'd actually just swish, I'd feel thirsty. I was very thirsty, so I think I was on the dehydrated side, but I just couldn't get the water down. And so I'd swish and spit the water out, or swish and swallow a little bit with the electrolytes, and then have a Dixie cup full of Coke at the 2 aid stations. And that's kind of what I did for the last 10 miles. And actually, I came around and felt better as I went. And it's kind of funny, we talk about patients, even when you're sick, it seems like if you can take food in, you feel more comfortable about being ill. If you have a cold or the flu and you can eat something, you feel like you're getting better. If somebody has something worse wrong with them, if they can eat, and their GI tract comes around, you think, well, they're going to be okay. And it's like that just with every human, including myself. I thought I'll be okay if I can take some nutrition in. And I kept pushing to try to take some nutrition in, even though there wasn't any place for it to go. And it wasn't until I stopped taking in nutrition and let my gut rest that I finally started coming around. So it was a learning experience for me because, you always think that when you're that high in mileage that you don't have much glycogen left in your muscles, which you don't. You have enough glycogen for about 20 miles, but certainly not 28. But I certainly have fat stores, and so when you're going slow enough and you don't have a high heart rate, we have plenty of fat stores to sustain us, and so that really wasn't a problem. I had fluid. I had lots of fluid. It just wasn't in the right place. So, gave my body a little bit of time, and I absorbed the fluid from my tissues back into my vasculature, and things were better. And by the end, like I said, I was feeling better. So I finished the race not nauseated. So that was really, really good. In retrospect, I should have really started out with water and done, gels as I needed. I think in the future, I'm not going to be so worried. There is a trend in ultra running to see how many calories that you can push in. So if you can keep pushing in calories, you can keep going further and further and further. But you can only push in as many calories as your body can absorb. And the gels, which are sugary, and sometimes they have electrolytes in them, and the electrolyte drink again, you end up sucking water into the gut, and you just kind of sloshy. And it's very difficult to balance. The hotter it is, the more fluid you lost. And even though it wasn't high in the 80s, skin was salty. So I do believe that we're losing more fluids than you really realized. But they were, again, it's weird, but the fluids are there. They just weren't in the right place for the most part. So I learned that I could travel a fair amount of distance without taking any calories in, and even taking any water in for the most part, and I wasn't dehydrated. I didn't feel bad at the end. I didn't have a headache, and my heart rate came down as as things kind of settled out. And so it was a good learning experience to take forward. And as far as how you apply it to life, well, if you're not feeling well, all of us have a little bit of excessive storage fat that we can burn, and we can go a while without really needing calories in. So not to panic. And sometimes when people have GI distress, again, they try to keep putting things in the top and end up making themselves more sick. We want to keep hydrated. And again, on this Thanksgiving holiday, you have to watch episodes like this that you can get into a whole lot of salt. But when you take that salt, you absorb more water with it. And sometimes it stays in your GI tract. But sometimes in people with heart disease, it actually goes into their blood vessels, and their heart has to pump that extra fluid around. And that's when they get into trouble. So, listening to your body, I learned it better in an ultra race, but, we always need to listen to our body, because it'll tell us pretty much what it needs if we give it a chance. And forcing things in mindlessly or just because is probably not a good idea. So I learned that the hard way on this last race. I had some emails over the last podcast with DHA and fish consumption. I appreciate them, and I am still a proponent of people getting their omega profiles checked. DHA in our brains, and it's in actually every animal's brain. It's something that's really amazing to me that over time the DHA in brains have not changed, but brain size in humans is bigger than brain size percentage compared to total body weight is the largest in humans over any other animal. Of course, we have 2 frontal lobes. But every animal has DHA in the brain and the eye, and it is very, very important. We recycle a lot of it, but the recycling process is not complete, so we need to take in DHA in some form. I continue to monitor those in the practice, and people that don't do supplementation are, for the most part, have low DHA levels. Chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds are not adequate to convert into DHA. I have one person that uses turmeric along with those, and she seemed to have a better conversion, and her DHA levels were in the moderate range. So with a little supplementation, she should be fine. But, again, I go back to the whole food situation, and the fish offers us DHA, and as well as iodine, as well as B12, as well as iron, and we don't need very much of it. So I think that's a really good point to make. The other thing is that the concern over mercury is probably more worrisome than not. There are several studies in the UK that follow children and people that ate fish, more in Asian studies that eat fish 4, 5, 6 times a week, and the kids had no problems as far as signs or symptoms of toxicity, and actually did much better than counterparts that didn't have the DHA consumption. So it's an important part of our nutrition, no matter how you take it in. If you don't want to eat fish, that's a perfect choice on your part. But I would stress for people to get their DHA levels checked and aim for a good level. it's one thing that you have in common with your non-plant-based counterparts. So, when people make fun of you for eating a plant-based diet, it's like, well, nobody has high DHA levels unless they're consuming fish on a regular basis for the most part. So most of the carnivore, paleo diets and vegan diet are all lacking in DHA consumption. If you'd like to optimize your health and wellness, we'd love to help. You can go over to the website, drdulaney.com, DOCTORDULANEY, and find out how you can become a member of the practice, whether it's to navigate diabetes, hypertension, or even DHA levels. We'd love to help. We'd also love to help people become more mobile and increase their exercise capacity. It's, a move it or lose it type situation. You're never too old to start an exercise program. Matter of fact, what are you waiting for to go run? We have people taking up running at any age. So I would encourage you to look into, a program, and certainly we love to help you. I don't do anything that I wouldn't suggest my patients do, and I don't do things or suggest patients do things that I don't do. So when it comes to nutrition, I'm very open and honest about what I'm thinking and about what I'm doing. And so whatever I would recommend to you, it's something that I do and my family does, and we take great pride in that and being transparent. And I am very grateful to have my family here for Thanksgiving, and I hope you're around your family. There's nothing better to share a meal and memories with your family, and I look forward to making pumpkin pie with Caleb, and watching them do the turkey trot makes me smile that everybody has, the running has come full circle, and everybody's looking forward to being active and healthy. So I hope you all have a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you that listen to the podcast. I am grateful for any of your comments or questions. Feel free to go on over to Jami at drdulaney.com and send me an email. And I hope your holidays are happy and healthy.